some screens here. So I am Chuck Espinosa. I'm one of the Infocomm staff instructors here in Fairfax, Virginia, at the Infocomm mothership, so to speak. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we can do for you, what Infocomm as an association can do for you as technology managers. Infocomm actually has locations all over the globe. We have an office in the UK there in Hemel Hempstead. We have offices in the Middle East and Africa, office in China, office in Australia, and Dubai. So we are all over the globe. If you have technology managers that are actually going to these locations, they can look up our Infocomm members if they need assistance audio video wise or training wise. And we do offer trainings in these other locations of the world, not just the US and Amsterdam, so to speak, but Brazil, China, Australia. What is Infocomm? Well, Infocomm is a professional society and a trade association. So what that means is, as a professional society, we are focused a lot on members' education and the advancement of the industry for our members. As a trade association, we help businesses meet other businesses, manufacturers, meet integrators, et cetera, and bring everybody together at our trade shows so they can kind of look to see what everyone has to offer and how they can benefit each other in the AV industry. We say we do everything AV worldwide, and what that entails is we really concentrate on things that benefit the industry. Our certifications, the CTS, CTSI, and CTSD. How many in the audience have a CTS? Raise your hand. Show of hands. Outstanding. So we oversee the certifications. The certifications are actually created and maintained by a committee, and they are somewhat autonomous to Infocomm. Infocomm really doesn't, we just see the administration part, but the committee really does a lot with the certifications, and ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, really takes kind of the point when we start doing testing and whatnot. We use an outside body for certifications for many reasons. One of the big reasons is we used to do our certifications here at Infocomm, and Infocomm hosted them, but for our advanced certifications, that had to be done at Infocomm headquarters in Fairfax. When we actually started going out to ANSI and getting it a lot more standardized testing, and at the Pearson VUE testing centers, we could then get those certifications to a wider audience across the globe. People were no longer limited just to coming to Fairfax. So it's helped certification a lot. It's helped it get to our members a lot. And the program is continuing to grow and continuing to keep updated. If anyone is interested in what the certification committees are about, or if you have your CTS and would like to serve on one of these committees, you're more than welcome to send an email to myself, C. Espinosa, that would be CESPINOZA, at infocomm.org. And if you have any questions about anything in the presentation, please feel free to email me. I love talking to people and answering emails from everyone. And I look forward especially to those not in the U.S. When I come out to visit the UK, I always make new friends and like to sit down and just talk to people, see what's going on in the industry around them. It says we have about 5,000 plus members, and what that means is they consider like Sony a member, and LG and Samsung and Crestron. So when it says 5,000 plus members, that's member companies. We have over 70,000 plus AV professionals worldwide. We are in a little bit more than 80 countries, and this year at our Florida show, we just went over 11,000 CTS holders, which is a pretty big achievement for us. And we also just we hit 300 on our dual cert, those that have both the CTSI and the CTSD credential. So a pretty big accomplishment for us, pretty proud of that. So our members consist of a bunch of different markets or genres in the AV industry. System integrators and contractors make up our largest percent, and then it's manufacturers and dealers, distributors. Technology managers and end users make up about 17%. It's almost 1/5 of our entire member body is made up of technology managers like yourself. 9% live events professionals. Then we have some independent reps and service providers, and they say other, and it's, you know, some smaller portions of motion picture industry makes up a tiny little bit. So what does it mean when we have when we say membership? What's member versus a non-member? What is membership going to do for me? So one of the things our members benefit from is discounts in education and discounted certification. There's pretty significant discounts on the exam. I don't know what the direct translation is, but it's several. I think it's like 100 pounds difference on the test, maybe 80 pounds. My pounds to dollars isn't that accurate. But we do have a lot of discounts on education. We have a lot of free and discounted market research as well. If you're interested in what the markets are doing around you, we do a lot of market research to benefit our members, industry trends and whatnot. Membership also adds a lot of credibility, and it shows a commitment to the AV industry. So, you know, if you're in AV and you're speaking with other AV professionals, you can say, you know, we're a member of Infocomm, we take part in standards and certification, et cetera, et cetera. It gives it a little bit more teeth, if you will, to being a member, especially with that certification being not regulated by Infocomm anymore, regulated by an outside body. And along with being a member, we also, with membership, we also ask our members to help support the industry through their volunteering with councils, committees, and whatnot. There are several members from the United Kingdom that do serve on our councils and committees. I know a couple right off the top of my head. Does anyone know Jason Bramble? Show of hands. Anyone know Jason Bramble? Jason's from the UK. He works for Torpedo, I believe. He's chair of our standards, one of our standards committees. And Jason was the volunteer of the year this year at our Infocomm trade show. He was voted volunteer of the year. He's been volunteering for many, many years. Good personal friend of mine. Every time we come over, and Jason always takes me to a different restaurant, and they're amazing. I think that's actually why he got volunteer of the year. But Jason's a great guy right there from the UK. Paul Nolan is another good friend of mine from the UK who has been volunteering on our certification committees for many, many years. And they're helping, excuse me, they're helping shape the industry. Paul's been working on the CTS certification for several years and writing items and overseeing items. And these guys, you know, Jason with standards and Paul in certification, they really have been helping how we shape certification and standards for the entire industry. And I know as a former chair and certification volunteer before I was actually staff, I can tell you we really appreciate the input from not Americans, if you get what I'm saying. Like, we try to make the test as international as we can, writing questions and getting the certification to not just be a U.S.-based certification. And it's really hard because we don't live outside the U.S., a lot of us. So when we get volunteers from Australia and the U.K. and Europe, Austria and Germany, we really, really value their input, and it's treasured. It really is treasured and valuable to the committees. So If anyone, again, is interested in volunteering for one of the committees, just please let me know. You can contact myself. Anyone knows Sarah Carlos, or Chris or Ben, your Infocom reps in the UK? Okay, great. You can contact those guys. You can contact myself if you're curious about it, even if you just have questions about the committees, what they do, how often they meet, how much of a commitment is it. Be more than happy to talk to you about it. So, SCOMS is a institutional membership. That it's all the technology managers from around the United Kingdom are in this organization, and your organization, as staff members of the universities, these organizations kind of work with Infocom. As staff members of the universities, most of you are already members or qualified to be members of Infocom. If you are not a member, please give us, shoot us an email or talk to your manager, so we can register you as a member. Usually, since the universities already have a membership, registration will be free. If anyone is curious or would like to register with Infocom, you could contact Sarah. That would be SCARLESS, Sarah Carlos, at infocom.org. And we can get you registered up. And one of the big reasons for registering as an individual is just the training opportunities. We do a lot of training in general knowledge, in installation design, networking, technology management, project management, live events management. And there are tons of training opportunities, both in the classroom, which we actually come over to the UK and set up classes a good bit. Online, there are loads and loads of training opportunities. And we also have virtual classrooms. We have live instructors that do virtual just like this for CTS prep, CTSD prep. And we have online webinars that we do quite a bit for training opportunities. So if you are not a member, I would highly encourage to sign up. So let me talk a bit about some of the free trainings we offer first. There is a YouTube channel, and if you can see my presentation, I have this great screenshot of Tom Kerr doing some stuff, terminating connectors and whatnot. Our YouTube channel is, we have an Infocom University YouTube channel, and there are several videos. I would venture to say up towards 70 or 80 videos. Everything from 2-minute how to use a heat gun, how to terminate a speak-on or nitric plug, how to solder an RCA connector, to how to specify a display or use the potential acoustic gain, needed acoustic gain calculation for predicting room responses with audio. Tons of different things on the YouTube. I tell a lot of my friends and association members now, I didn't know there was a YouTube channel that actually did this. I used to run an AV company, and technicians and engineers and programmers that I worked with, and every now and then we'd have some dead time, and they would, poke around on YouTube looking for manufacturers' trainings and whatnot. I didn't know that Infocom had a university YouTube channel, so now I'm trying to preach it to everyone because I think it's a great way to get a lot of free training. There's really, really good videos on there, and there's a lot of subjects they cover. We do a ton of webinars, and we always save our webinars and archive them. So if there's, you have some time, or you have some people coming up, or a specific topic that you need people trained on, there are a boatload of webinars to pick from. Everything from balancing audio systems to the standards, how to implement the different standards, the projected image system contrast ratio, or the DISCUS standard, the new display image sizing standard. There are webinars on all these things, and we archive them forever. We don't throw anything away. We usually keep them for 2 or 3 years. If anyone is curious and would like to see these webinars, they're at www.infocom.org/webinars. Excuse me. So as a member, there are some trainings that we offer specifically for our members for free. If you have new personnel that are coming on board and you want to and say they've never been in the AV industry, or you have interns that you're trying to bring up to speed, there's a course called the Quick Start to the AV Industry Online. And it's a really broad overview of what the AV industry is. It is a great way to get someone new in the industry to kind of put their toe in the water, get their feet wet, so to speak. And, instead of, as a manager, instead of you sitting down and having to talk these people through every step of the introduction to the industry, this is a good general kind of training class that you can utilize to help a little bit with your time management. I know when I had new people, I would sit down and explain this to them. Then I found this, the Quick Start, and I would sit them down, and it kind of lays out the industry in a nutshell, and I don't think it takes too long. It's just an hour or so. Then for a little bit more advanced training, we have the Essentials of AV Technology Online. And this is a deeper dive into what the AV industry is. This would be good for a technician or someone who's been in the industry a couple months and kind of knows what they're getting into. This is a little bit deeper dive into the subjects that we talk about. Things like the decibel, things like visual acuity, and not a full deep down like design dive, but just again, a good overview for what people might have to deal with on a daily basis. And then we have an AV technologist test. So you could be what they call a registered AV technologist. And are AVTs in the audience? Registered AV technologists? Outstanding, outstanding. I'll give you a hand, yeah. So this is kind of the first step to certification. It kind of lets people know what the test is going to be like and what to expect. And again, these are free for Infocomm members. And after the AV technologist test, if you decide to pursue your career, or your people decide to pursue their career forward, and they want their CTS, we do CTS prep online for free. And I believe it's 8 classes, 4 weeks, twice a week, usually Mondays and Thursdays, for an hour. And there's an instructor that goes through many of the subjects. They have discussions online and whatnot, and they might get assigned homework on Monday to bring in on Thursday or to talk about on Thursday. This is great. I didn't realize, again, before I was an instructor, about all these training opportunities, and to be able to sit down, and the classes are usually pretty small. They can range anywhere from 8 to 25, even 30, I believe. But members get a chance to sit and talk with an instructor about something. So if they have a subject that they're kind of still a little sketchy on, they can ask one of the Infocomm instructors. They can email them, and you can start a discussion, or they could just ask online. And it's a great resource, again, for prepping for that CTS test. So now we talked about some of the free ones. Let's talk about some of the low-cost training. We have some low-cost online classes. These are a little bit more in-depth, and they have low-cost, like a design 1, 2, or 3 for your environment, your infrastructure, or your system. And they also have CTS installation online. If we're not offering one of those courses in your area, and the guys just don't have the time to travel out to the US or to one of the shows, this is a great option for people to do. It's at your own pace when you have the time to do it. I know I did my installation courses online, and I would just come back after work, stay an hour or so every couple days, and I knocked it out pretty quick. For members, the online courses, some of them are actually free. And the cost, the low cost ones, they range anywhere from 60 to 95 pounds for members. For non-members, they're anywhere from 95 to 150 pounds for the same courses. So that's a pretty significant discount for our members. Um, Again, we do like to discount education for our members. And if you need more than an online class, we do have virtual classes. Again, instructor led, but you can take it from your desk. The CTSD prep has a virtual class, and every now and then we will do other special offered virtual classes. If somebody says, hey, I want to do a installation virtual class, or some other subject, live events virtual class, we could, if we have enough of a demand, we put it together. And all you have to do is email Sarah again and say, hey, I need 10 guys to take a virtual class for something. We can put it together for you. I know for our CTSD prep online, it's 250 and 250 pounds. And for members, and non-members pay 375 pounds. So again, a pretty significant difference for members to non-members. So I'm going to talk real quick about CTS prep. I highly encourage everyone to do the CTS prep prior to their exam. Not just for the knowledge that I tell people, you just want to make sure you have the knowledge, and the CTS prep is a great way to kind of make sure that all the steps in your studying paid off and that the knowledge actually stuck. And there's also a few things during the CTS prep. They get like test taking strategies, how to do a first pass and things like that. The CTS prep is created from the job task analysis. So they look at the things that what a CTS should do from our JTA, our job task analysis, and we kind of gear that training towards accomplishing those job tasks. There's also a little bit of AV math practice in the CTS prep. So I highly encourage that. In fact, I think, well, let's talk about books for a second. A lot of people learn through books better than they learn online. Some people can't stand to read books and they want to talk to somebody, they want an interactive class. We'll do that for you. Some people just want to sit and cozy up on the couch with a book. We'll do that for you too. We have a CTS prep, a CTS exam guide that is for sale through McGraw-Hill. Excuse me. A little Coca-Cola first thing in the morning. And that is available through Amazon. If you could see my slide right now, I have this beautiful picture of this red CTS exam guide. Anyone have the CTS exam guide? Do you have it with you? Can you hold it up so everyone can see? No? Shame. I carry one with me in my backpack. No, I don't. I'm kidding. We also have the CTSI and CTSD exam guides. The CTSD is the newest one. And again, some people studying for the test, they just want to sit down and read a book. All these exam guides have CDs with them that have all the lessons on PDF, so you can Kindle or iPad these if that's your preferred form of reading. Some people need that book, so we want to make sure that no matter what type of learner you are, you can get that information. We also have a newer class, Networked AV Systems, or NAVS, as they call it, and there is a book for that as well. Talks about networking, bandwidth, encoding, transport, the OSI model, all the things that are involved in networking. And it also talks a little bit about things like Ethernet and AVB, or EtherSound and AVB. Talks about how to subnet, how to put different subnets together, how to create VLANs, the intricacies of audio video streaming, digital signage, anything that we have to do. Nowadays, pretty much everything's on the network. So we wanted to make sure we had a class out there that addressed a lot of these concerns about putting your AV systems on a network. So again, we do offer an on-site, we do offer online, and if you need the book, we offer the book for that. for the networked AV systems. So what if you need to actually you're one of those people that needs to go to the class and concentrate? Well, we will deliver that class to you. If there is a large enough need, if you have an organization or a couple organizations that really need a CTS prep on-site class, we will come to you. All you have to do is let your member service representatives know. You can give Chris or Ben or Sarah, shoot them an email or give them a call and say, we really need a CTS exam. I know there's a pretty big demand right now for technology managers, and I come over to the United Kingdom quite a bit and do the tech manager class and the CTS prep as well. So if you are interested in that, if you are interested in the one up and coming, just shoot us an email and we'll give you all the information about those classes. So we're doing this new thing with our CTS exam, especially for organizations that some organizations actually can't pay for certification testing, that their employees or their team members have to pay for it on their own, but they can by training. So what we've done is we've kind of lumped the exam cost into a package, and we now have CTS exam vouchers. So if your organization is one of those that is restricted from paying for CT or certifications, you can buy a voucher now in a package, and you can buy one or as many vouchers as you like for your team. And manufacturers have also started buying vouchers for their customers because they've realized the values of certification. Several manufacturers have said, we have guys that buy our stuff and then they go to put our stuff in and they don't do it correctly, and then it makes our stuff look bad. So they've started purchasing training vouchers and certification vouchers for some of their customers and sending them, sponsoring them, if you will, for the training. The vouchers are good for 12 months after purchase and are fully refundable any time before they're used for exam registration. And you can get a voucher for CTS, CTSI, or CTSD. So here's something I was speaking with Ben last week. There is a CTS prep class coming up. And if you are a member and you would like to take your CTS prep and your exam, and I was told this was a SCOMS special, so to speak. If you're in SCOMS and you get your team member to pass the AVT, the the registered audio video technology test before they sit the CTS prep course, then the course is free of charge and the exam voucher is, so the test and the exam is 725 pounds, or excuse me, the CTS prep class and the exam is 725 pounds. But if you get the AVT, again, which is free, and you sit the prep course and purchase an exam voucher, the voucher is only 280 pounds, and the CTS prep on-site will be free. So that's a pretty good savings. So it's 455 pounds savings for you. So again, if you're interested in that course, it's upcoming first week of December. Just shoot an email to Chris, Ben, or Sarah, and get in whatever member that is going to sit for the prep course, have them take and pass that AVT before they get there. It's a pretty significant savings. Okay, so we talked about some of the training. So what do we do? This is a question I'm asked. Okay, Chuck, you talked to me about training. I want to take the test. So I recommend the prep courses, and then how you would sign up for the test is there's online application. You fill out the application. You can email that to our certification staff. Our staff will then, you email that in your payment, and our staff will then send you a number. you would get that number and take that to the Pearson View website. You can find a Pearson View near you and input that number into the Infocom. You select Infocom, input the number, and they will give you centers around with available testing times. And you take the test. And during CTS prep, we have a bunch of helpful tips for testing day as well, not just preparing for your test up to that week, but that day as well. Things like, I like to take tests on a Thursday. I found people are more productive that day. Thursday at 10 o'clock seems to be the best time to take a test. It's like almost to the end of the week. I get past this one hurdle and I can relax. And so we talk about different things like that, what to do at the testing center, what time to get there, how early to get there, things like that. And then once you take your CTS, you pass it, you get your CTS certification in the mail. It looks something like that. And you can hang it on the wall. You get a CTS pin, and you get registered as one of our CTS certification holders. Your name goes on the actual wall of fame. We have a big wall that we publish every year at our shows. And you work on the next one, CTSI or CTSD, start the process all over. Are there any questions from the crowd so far?